Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder aboard the SMS Sachsen to its maiden voyage that actually never happened. At least in War Thunder we can get some first impressions on this new German top end-of-the-line battleship at rank 6, battle rating 7.0, and it is a Bayern class. It's in fact so similar to the SMS Bayern that all the devs had to do was copy-pasting the SMS Bayern, strap some extra 88s on it, which make no difference whatsoever, and call it a day. And that's a mere 390,000 RP and a million civil lines. Congratulations. Now that sounds a bit negative, although that's probably how it happened. And I have to really talk about what else Gaijin could have done. Also, why the SMS Sachsen as the second Bayern class in War Thunder? Why not the SMS Baden? Why insist on giving the Germans a project? And why then that project? We'll talk about this in just a moment. So let's quickly go over this ship. It has really tough armor, because the belt is 350mm thick, same as the barbettes and the turret faces, which are flat. Then we have an upper belt of 250mm, and on the bow, thanks to a distributed armor scheme, we have a rolled cemented armor plating of 200mm, with the bulkheads being 140mm in the front. Then there comes a 60mm deck, and then behind it the actual bulkheads surrounding the front barbette, ranging from 300 to 200 to 170mm being a potential weakness. And then we also have an extended armor strip on the rear up until the very stern, and we have internally a 30mm turtleback with a 30mm deck plating over the magazines and the machinery, and then on the upper deck also a 30mm deck, which is probably the second weakness. The ship is relatively slow with 41 kilometers per hour. It has no catapult fighter, which really would be needed for interacting with caps in War Thunder. And yeah, itself, it has no real AA to talk about, only 8 88s, and they're not really that effective. You have 16 150mm secondaries in casemates, single mounts, where they are protected with a 170mm armor strip, and the casing housing itself is only 80mm, and they die really quickly to HE spam, which is sad. But then we come to the main selling point, the main battery. The 4 twin 38cm gun turrets of the 45 SK L45s, 720 rounds of ammunition in total, and a 26-second reload. Yes, the Americans are crying in the corner, I know it. And then it actually has 2 shell types that we have to talk about. The stock SAP round, which is mighty, 800 meters per second mass velocity, 67 kilograms of explosive mass, which really delivers the pain to cruisers. Not so much battleships, because while it has significant penetration values, rather at short range, at distance it falls off. At 5 kilometers we only have 325 millimeters, and at 10 kilometers 221. Still more than enough for most cruisers. And if something refuses to die, just load the tier 1 upgrade, the 380mm PSGR L3.5 APCBC round, which also has 800 meters per second muzzle velocity for a 750 kilogram heavy projectile, delivering 595 millimeters of penetration, and at 5 kilometers 492, so almost 500, and at 10 kilometers retains up to 396 millimeters of penetration, and it delivers a 25 kilogram heavy TNT warhead into the enemy's guts, and that hurts as well. But sometimes it's the lack of accuracy, or it's just that you only fire 8 rounds per salvo rather than 12 rounds, compared to, for example, all the Japanese battleships. Sometimes you just don't hit at the right spot. and that's a bit annoying. But therefore you have your 150mm secondaries that sometimes especially can help you versus cruisers to whittle down the crew percentage. If it comes into a really close brawl, you have also 20 600mm torpedoes, same as on the Bayern. You have 2 tubes fixed under the waterline per side and 1 through the bow with the respective reloads. I use them without the torpedo mode, so we have a 67 km per hour speed, 6 km range, and 269 kilograms of TNT equivalent warhead, which just overcomes the torpedo protection of heavy cruisers and certain battleships and battle cruisers, which is 250 kilograms. They don't make the difference, but whenever you can use them, it's funny as all hell, as I demonstrated previously by torping the Marette to no real effect. Thank you, Graf Spee. So anyway, this is a good ship, right? Sometimes you die, you can whittle down cruisers, you have no chance versus a Scharnhorst. The best thing I can say about this ship, in all honesty, is that it gives me an excuse to take out the Scharnhorst and grind it with playing the Scharnhorst. And yeah, you now don't have to use a backup at all to spawn 3 battleships. The problem is you have no influence on the actual outcome of the game, because yeah, you're too slow and you have no float plane or catapult fighter to interact with caps, and you don't want to bail out because you have a 42,000 civil line repair cost bill, and that's just too expensive to bail out, get into a patrol boat and capture a point. So now I want to come to the second half of the video, and I want to talk about why I make such a fuss about this ship being introduced and not something else. So first of all, for the Germans, I would have hoped for some diversity, either with giving us a new ship class entirely, for example the König class, which is just like the Kaiser class, but with a center line arrangement of the 10 12-inch guns. Or we get the fantastic Markensen concept, which would also have served well as a project with its interesting 350mm guns. And according to some interesting sources on the internet, it would have been a reload of 24 seconds for those guns. And also quite the interesting battlecruiser. Talking about battlecruisers, the Scharnhorst isn't really a battlecruiser. It's titled this in War Thunder, yes, but the only real battlecruiser we have in War Thunder is the Vonderton. So where's my Seydlitz, for instance? You know, that would be interesting as well to flesh out the tech tree at battle rating 6.3, 6.7 maybe, where the Germans have nothing at 6.7, just saying. And also, why not introduce the Baden? The SMS Baden, which was the actual second commissioned German Bayern class for the World War I Kriegsmarine. No, not Kriegsmarine, Hochseeflotte, yeah. High Seas Fleet. So there are a lot of interesting questions. And also, why not focus the effort on giving the Americans, which really suffer for their 14-inch guns, a 40-second reload, a heavy US standard with 16-inch guns. I know that's crazy, but if that then has 40-second reload, that's a balancing factor. The Soviets are also capped out at 12-inch guns. Never thought I would say this, but also they could use some bigger guns. Great Britain, where is the R class? Where is the Queen Elizabeth class? I mean, come on, Gaijin. It's really overdue that the British get some actual love. Then Japan is fine. They have 4 battleships with 12 14-inch guns each, and also the 2 Congo classes. And yeah, give Italy a premium battleship and give them battleships that are better than the Duilio and the Conte di Cavour. They're not bad battleships, but my god, are they misplaced. Conte di Cavour has no place at 7.0. And give the French the Dunkirk. Please give the French the Dunkirk, give them a proper premium battleship, equalize the nations, because right now what we have in the battles is mostly German battleships. maybe some premium battleships, and the rest is gun food. If it appears at all on the menu. French dreadnoughts are back on the menu, boys. And that's all that I have to say. I'm sorry that I can't be a bit more positive about this. This was not intended to be a rant, but I just wanted to go through the options that I just could scratch together in like a 5-minute Google search, right? And I always wanted to see the Markinson with proper stats in a video game. And yeah, that is just the maximum what I can say about this. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields, in the skies, and on the waves of War Thunder.